There is an orc so powerful, an orc with so much aura, that my Shadow of War Xbox game save simply couldn't contain him, and thus it self-destructed, prompting me to have to restart my entire playthrough. At first I thought that all of my legendary orcs were gone, then I remembered that there are built-in failsafes to keeping your orcs alive, essentially making them immortal. They still exist out there, in online forts, thanks to the vendetta system. So there is still hope. Bagga the Alchemist can be found. His story can continue. I let a random green painted grunt kill me, as I am normally one to do. And we were eternally blessed by this runt becoming the spiritual reincarnation of Bagga the Alchemist. So I'm going to be taking this brand new protagonist all the way through the story, so that we can make it together to level 80 and finally reunite with the original Bagga the Alchemist. I spawned back in Nirnan. I then assigned the new Bagga the Alchemist to become my bodyguard. I head off to go and meet Ratbag, who tells me that my fort can now be attacked.
It will eventually come under attack.
Fantastic. The map then updates and reveals that there is much work that needs doing. Many forts that need a taking across all of Mordor. I then head off to the Pitfight Arena where I speak to Bruise.
You know, this is more than just a place to pop some orcs' heads off, although that is something I cannot recommend enough.
Where we can see my very awesome frog blood orc going up against a nameless Olog. This Olog is so goddamn weak that he hasn't even been given a title. He also basically has no accessories except for a mouthpiece. This frog blood right here is actually the orc captain that I got Bagga the Alchemist from, complete with the green paint. For all intensive purposes, this is basically Bagga's mother. So you would imagine that victory is a sure thing, especially when you take into consideration that this is a story mission. Well, that didn't go to plan. I guess with Bagga's mother now dead, that just adds more depth to his character, just like every single anime antagonist and protagonist ever. I then dive on into the pit to go and meet this killer. Who exactly is this guy that could just walk into my life and take away Bagga's mother like this?
That's wise. Maybe I will let you live. Almost kept a straight face.
I then gently remind the Mountain Eater that the only reason he has a straight face is because he's got a massive metal bar keeping it aligned. You might think that I'd want to kill him as revenge, but no, I'm gonna recruit him because I very much need him in my army. We basically have no orc allies right now. And because we have no one, I head off to go and try to recruit an orc named the Complainer. You might be able to guess why he has this name.
It's time to stop it. Just stop it. You have to stop it.
To help me recruit this cave-dwelling complainer, I summon in my bodyguard.
Invader! I ate one of your kind last night. Young Gondorian invader cried for his mother. Who will you cry for?
My first outlaw tribe invasion hits, led by Asgrel's the Proud. I freeze him up, but this is right when the complainer notices.
If you won't stop it, I'll stop it. I will stop it.
Clearly the complainer hates that I'm trying to stop this outlaw invasion. Thankfully I had already summoned in Bagga the Torturer, and he hits the Proud with a massive spear throw, causing him to break very quickly. He then becomes intimidated by the sheer aura of one of my many Baggas. To punish the Proud for invading my lands, I grab aboard his back and force him to give me a piggyback. But this isn't just any piggyback, as I am able to attack the complainer while enjoying this ride. And as if this wasn't disrespectful enough, after I get off, I fire an arrow into him and he doesn't even get a death screen. He just kind of collapses. With his Olog back up now gone, the complainer actually starts looking rather dangerous. It's at this point that I realize that I am incredibly weak. Only level 17, not really very good gear, and basically no abilities at all. So I flee the battle and I head to an entirely new region, Gorgoroth, the land of fire and despair. This will be the first fortress that my army of Baggas and misfits will target. I summon in my loyal followers, the Lookout, Bagga the Alchemist, Bagga the Torturer, Bagga the Itchy, and the Drunk, a new recruit. Together we'll be working towards taking the Gorgoroth fortress. And at first I am extremely overconfident, leading an assault on the fortress immediately upon arriving, despite only having 2 slots to bring captains. But nonetheless, at this point I was very much ready to take the fortress. I believe in the strength of my lads, my Baggas. And I am curious to see exactly how strong these defending orcs will be. What level will the orcs be? And how powerful will the Overlord be?
The odds of taking Sharkburs were 50%. Here that number drops to 0. And this man-filth drops along with it! Our stock has been consumed! No cattle for the killing floor! No bones to put to the saw! And now, what do we see before us? A fresh herd!
Ready, boss? Not sure how much longer I can wait.
Sure, we've taken one fort, but that's not enough. I want more! You want more! We all want more! So let's make it happen!
The Bagga's inspiring words rattle across my forces, pumping them up ready for battle. We're taking this fortress right here and now. I charge through the ranks as balls of poison smash into the battlefield. I climb up the wall and peer down to see the first defenders. I spot a scary looking expounder orc with a rare dart. I then land a big blow to his gut, but this only prompts him to grab my sword and have a chat with me.
Now you see strength of fortress! Now you see strength of Mordor!
His words ring true in my ear. This fortress does seem strong. Perhaps we rushed in here. Maybe we're not ready for this challenge. Ignoring my worrying thoughts, I begin to focus on one of the weaker captains defending this point. But as I'm doing this, I am caught off guard by the expounder. He downs me thanks to my weak armor not being able to handle his strength. But I survive for now, just about able to avoid his attack. I can then hear the lava calling, so I grab one of the captains, ready to throw him in. But that's when I am hit from behind by one of the Olog bodyguards. My previous worries may have been valid. Talion is not ready for this raid. His armor's too weak, and now he's just lost his best sword.
I break your blade! Gah! Like I broke you!
The Overlord Blood Drinker survives, and because of this field raid, every single orc defending becomes stronger. Talion regains his strength and heads back into Gorgoroth. His sword now broken, as well as his body, but not his will. Knowing that he needs to grow stronger, he heads off in search of Zog, who as usual is up to his old shenanigans, up to no good.
Gorgoroth, we call you to the shadows. Rise and join our glory.
Talion dives on in as it's a race against time to defeat these acolytes before they can successfully summon a balrog. Bagga the Alchemist joins because just like the Bright Lord, he also needs to grow in strength. And all it takes is one exploded fireplace and one execution to defeat Zog.
Don't be sad. It doesn't end here. We'll meet again. Swallowed by the darkness.
With Zog having ran off, I begin to take out the rest of his acolytes. Look at how hyped up Bagga is to fight. He'll gladly go one-on-one with the balrog. Speaking of the balrog, I dive on into the lava pit just in time for it to rise.
Fools.
But just before the balrog is able to go on a rampage across Mordor, Karnan, the forest spirit, arrives. And the balrog's not very happy about that. She proceeds to brawl the balrog while I shoot him in the back over and over again. He then tries to leap to freedom, but we jump on top of Karnan and chase him down. A few arrows to his fiery heart, and he is ready to run away yet again. And this time when we pursue him, he is ready and waiting for us, ripping the head clean off this forest ground and sprinting off into the distance. Respawning in a new area after that fight, I jump down and I spot this random captain, Flack the Scorcher. Desperate to level up, I immediately attack him.
I make blade to blade! First blood to the ranger, but last blood goes to me.
That was a pretty good comeback to my stealth attack, but after one arrow delivered straight between his eyes, he is pretty much done for. I then climb back up to the tower, slam back down and purify him in one of the most badass ways. But then, whenever I go to absorb the armor, I am taken out. I thought it was by this warrior, but it turns out it was actually by the archer. As you may have figured out already, I basically have no second chances.
Wonder how much your death's gonna be worth. Captain, at least.
Zuka is born. He chooses the name Lucky Shot, and he also chooses to wear a spiked ball sack, a red sleeve, and a red pirate hat. After respawning, I begin patrolling Mordor until I'm ambushed.
You! Vengeance is my duty. My blood brother taught me that. And he taught me about ranger tricks,
I guess he's the blood brother of the Scorcher. I wonder if he found his horrible purified body. Either way, he's pissed, so I summon in Bagga the Alchemist. This will be a good way to train him up. Together, we systematically take apart this nerd until he's broken, and then he does the unthinkable.
I'll have you next time. I'll have my revenge.
He tries to retreat. What self-respecting orc would run away from a battle? Naturally, this infuriates Bagga, causing him to brutally execute the learned scribe. You gotta love seeing my lad grow stronger, collecting more and more heads. This time from an orc more than double his level, but there was no time to celebrate. I often find that when the Nemesis system goes off, it can begin to react to itself, creating a snowball effect, which leads to another ambush happening almost as soon as we had just dealt with the last one.
Look upon the glory of the Blood Axe. Behold its wondrous splendor, for it will be the end of you. It spoke to me. It told me how it yearns to taste your warm, wet flow. It wants to bathe in your essence and delight in your death. And what the Blood Axe wants, the Blood Axe gets!
But despite the Blood Axe having one of the most badass dialogue introductions to this story, all it takes is one charged up execution to reduce his health by half. I then hit him with my glaive and a back kick and he is broken. I believe that this badass Blood Axe will make a great member of our team. And I'm sure Bagga approves. But for now, he's too high level. And there's only one way we can fix that. And thankfully, he doesn't lose his fiery personality by going crazy. I then head off in search of the Breaker, this horrible Olog that broke my sword.
Settle down, beasties. There is no danger nearby. I would have smelled it. Let's get down there and kill those ugly beasts. And maybe the Caragors too.
Still riding high from killing the Bright Lord, he thinks that he can take on this much higher leveled Olog. He charges into the pitfight arena already enraged, but he stands no chance against the Skinner's flamethrower. His charred body crumbles to the floor. With my sword within reach, I dive on down. I take out one of his Olog bodyguards, and then I summon in a bodyguard of my own.
And dance, and you will dance with them!
That was quite poetic from somebody called Skinflare. He tries to pull the same move on me, pulling out his flamethrower, but I blast him in the head before he's able to use it. With the Olog now broken, I am filled with confidence, which can often lead to a mistake. The Skinflare pulls out his flamethrower insanely quick, and then he does this.
You know what? No.
I'm not even worth his time. He sees me as nothing. Mud on his boot. Oh, he has to live to regret this. I respawn into a new part of the map, still hunting orcs, trying to grow stronger.
Fight him!
And that's when the shield bearer captain rolls up on me.
Do not fear the fire. It is the last torment you will ever know.
I begin taking my anger out on him for the humiliation I had just received. A glaive attack and execution kick to the gut. I then summon in Bagga so we can get more experience. But because I do this, the Nemesis system reacts.
Should've watched your back. Might find it's leaking.
The Blood Axe was back for revenge after I shamed him. He was reduced down to Talion's level, 18, the same as Bagga. Bagga lands an almighty blow into his back, taking away a massive portion of his health. I need to be very careful here that his bloodlust doesn't take over. I still want the Blood Axe to join us, but I miscalculate. I hit the floor with an ice blast, which only enrages him. Bagga moves on in for the kill, but thankfully the Blood Axe trips him. He then becomes even more enraged by his mortal wounds. Consumed by bloodlust, he charges me. I have no option but to climb the nearest tower. While I'm doing this, I give Bagga the order to retreat. If he stays on the field, he'll only end up eliminating the Blood Axe. I wait for him to calm down and then I dive off the tower, but I completely miss and hit this random grunt. He then chases me away, once again filled with rage. But the second time, I'm able to successfully hit my target.
Submit to me! I am your master! Now I'll serve the Bright Lord!
He agrees to join my side. I instruct him to say to test his newfound loyalty. Together we fight the remaining Blackguard.
You cannot hurt me. No man can hurt me.
On death's door, he activates his ultimate trump card. But this is to no avail with the combined force of Talion and the Blood Axe. They easily break him again. I then quickly grab him before the Blood Axe has a chance to finish him off. The ledge is calling. And it wouldn't be an FAsterisks video unless a captain fell to his death in a very funny way. But I've got to say, this next clip goes above and beyond. He didn't even go off the edge, he just collapsed from the sheer fear of it. That was truly pathetic. Well, with the Bloodblade now recruited to my side, we can start taking over this fortress. Starting by infiltrating some spies. And I can think of no better spy than Bagga the Machine.
I hope you've done a grave already.
Live long enough, and you will be renewed by steel. That is the message of the machine. Gonna slay you!
Okay, that didn't go very well. Bagga the Machine showing us there that we are not a very high level. Pork was level 37 and Bagga was level 18.
There you are. I've been waiting for this.
But this level discrepancy is not going to stop us from getting our revenge right now. And this time it's Bagga that takes his head. Not able to plant a spy on this war chief, instead we opt to try and take him out. In order to lure him into the open, we have to massacre 20 of his soldiers. And of course I bring along Bagga the Alchemist to help out. After a few minutes of slaughter, he shows his face.
Alarm sound! Orcs come to kill intruder! Orcs get killed! I have to kill intruder! This is not an efficient system!
And as if him being level 41 wasn't bad enough, he also arrives with 2 bodyguards. And the second I come out of this cutscene, I am hit by a spear. But luckily I am able to avoid this one. I Assassin's Creed my way across the rooftops to get a closer look at this gaggle of captains. I then decide that if I shoot this barrel, I can maybe lure one of them up to the rooftop. And thankfully this plan works with only the war chief making the climb. Wait, what?
That means I'm always in the last place you expect. And the second to last.
As it turns out, he's got one of the coolest traits, decoys, which very much confused me there for a second. Is this the real one that's made the climb? Thankfully it is, and for some reason the other decoys seem preoccupied. With this now being a one-on-one fight, I easily dismantle the war chief. I push him back into the corner of the roof, peppering him with arrows until he's broken, and at this point his fate is sealed. And this fall was a lot more impressive. So impressive, in fact, that it terrifies one of the bodyguards, the Glory Hunter. I mean, yeah, if you saw your master's body hurtle to the floor, splattering beside you, I imagine that would be quite terrifying. While the Glory Hunter runs, the other bodyguard didn't, and he gets the jump on me. I had used up all of my second chances fighting the war chief, so he gets the kill.
Oh, the fun I'll have with you now!
We may have successfully taken out the war chief, but I'm worried that an even creepier captain is now taken over. This corpse eater might be a problem. To bounce back quickly, I try and assassinate the Ghoul Slayer, who's one of the war chief's bodyguards.
Yummy! You'll have to do better than that. Much better!
I summon in Bagga to help me, but it ends up not going very well, as I am hit by his fast attack. And this happens to me again.
Do you know what? No.
I can't believe this is happening to me again. How many times will I be humiliated in one video? This is Talion's humiliation arc. Trying to bounce back again from another humiliating humiliation, I head on into the fortress to try and lure out one of the war chiefs, the Expounder, with the rare green paint. Eventually I'm able to kill 3 of his Caragors, which sends him my way.
Caragor's mine! Mine to own! Mine to kill! Like you!
I may not know much, but what I do know is if this guy goddamn shames me and humiliates me, I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna smash my Xbox right goddamn now.
Here I am! No! You die!
I've been waiting a long time for this. We're going to have a grand old time finding out what colour your guts are.
After talking to these lads, I stab the Expounder in the hand to get some distance. I then shoot the barrel behind them and summon in my bodyguard. The big lad then decides, you know what, I'm not happy about this stealth, and becomes enraged, but thanks to him not being Araproof, I'm able to keep my distance. I then sprint on in and hit him with an execution, taking off a good portion of his health. I then leave him for a second to look for arrows, where I am ambushed again.
Now I am here! More than you can handle, I think!
How many times have I been ambushed in this video? The Nemesis system is working overtime. Before finishing off the Expounder, I shoot these hornets. And then I charge in and finish him off with an execution, causing maximum pain. With this war chief now gone, we have successfully disabled their wall defenses, which actually do down a lot of your attacking captains whenever you're low level, which of course terrifies this ambushing giant and the bodyguard, the beheader. But I need some experience, so I'm not gonna let them get away. I slam down beside the fleeing beheader. I then try to throw him into this fireplace, but completely miss. And then I decide that I might as well just shame him down right here, right now. This gives me enough time to catch up to the giant and do the same. This is what you get for ambushing me. I then head back to Bagga, who's still fighting one of the bodyguards, and I give him a helping hand. For every ambush the Nemesis system throws at me, I repay them by throwing an orc off a small ledge. With many orcs now defeated, I think it's time that we take the fortress. Ignore the fact that my two first attacking orcs here are level 17, and the Overlord is level 45. With our newfound strength, thanks to the Blood Axe, I believe that we can successfully take this. So I call my banners, and we prepare to attack.
I wonder what you hope to accomplish this time? The slaughter of more of your warriors, perhaps? If so, you were wise to return. Soon you will be meat. Your bodies will be butchered, quartered, shipped to the far reaches of Mordor. You will be sustenance for the Dark Lord's armies!
All right then. When the Bright Lord marches on a fort, that fort gets conquered. It was true at Sharkmoors, and it's just as true here.
The Blood Axe is right. When the Bright Lord marches on a fort, that fort is conquered. I have the utmost confidence in myself and my soldiers. Over the front gate, I release the Drake Flamethrower. But then I eliminate that very same Drake because he's annoying. I begin to take the first point alongside Bagga, but then I notice that one of my lads is down outside the gate. I try to get to him, but he bleeds out insanely quickly. Probably because of the amount of alcohol coursing through his blood. The drunk literally turned up to the fort raid, said alright then, and then died before even getting inside the fortress. But I'm not going to let the same mistake happen again as I get my two other captains back on their feet. Heading to the second point though, there is finally some resistance. I get in close to meet this first defending war chief.
You've taken a few steps towards victory, but many more remain. And the next one is the toughest yet. Getting through me.
He says the toughest step is getting through him, but I really don't think so, considering his name is the Suspicious. Myself and the Blood Axe fight him until Bagga the Torturer finishes him off. With one of the more badass and brutal executions in the game. With the Suspicious now gone, we take the point. And I am horrified to see that there are 3 orc defenders at the next point. And to make things even worse, one of them is a scorpion.
You've gotten further than I expected. I've clearly underestimated you. I should open you up. See what makes you so special.
The Scorpion Captains are usually a very formidable type of orc. In my experience, they are always savages, they are always fiery, and they love to be enraged. I get some distance from the Scorpion, and then I notice that the Blood Axe has very much weakened down this captain, so I decide to lend him a helping arrow. I jump back into the point aboard my Caragor, diving off and stabbing the other defending captain. The Blood Axe then proves why he's on the team, taking out the Scorpion by bashing his head repeatedly into the ground and then beheading him. I use this as inspiration to help me take out the other defending captain. Heading on to the third point, I have a lovely chat with the Skull Bow.
I knew it! I knew I'd been too soft on my boys! You may have gained some ground, but we'll push you back. And when we're done killing a lot of you,
I'm gonna have a word with my lad.
This guy really sounds like chat whenever I destroy one of your forts. Everyone's always like, well, that orc's gonna get shamed. I'm gonna have to redo my entire fortress and have a chat with my lads. I weaken him down by hitting him with my glaive attack over and over again. I then meet one of my nemesis. Also, what the hell was that?
Think you have a chance of taking this fort because you scored a few small victories? You still have a long way to go. But I'm going to shorten it for you significantly.
Wow, he's level 63 now. He has really gone up in the world since humiliating me. To make him know that I'm serious, I execute his friend right in front of him. I then lay some arrows into his skull and get in there to try and help the blood axe. But then he hits him with his AoE attack, which downs him. Bagga the Torturer then keeps him busy while I'm able to get him back on his feet. All of that previous built-up rage from being humiliated manifests, and I humiliate the Ghoul Slayer in my own way. Oh, he deserves this. This is what you get for humiliating me. Once I've had my fun, I allow the Blood Axe to get the final kill, getting revenge for being downed earlier. With the level 63 Ghoul Slayer's head now coating the floor, me and my orcs felt truly unstoppable. But as I'm fighting inside the inner gate, I am caught off guard by this broken spear thrower captain. Downs me with a barrage of cleavers. I'm able to dodge his final blow, but that takes a toll on me. Not messing around anymore, I quickly get rid of him. But when I do this, I don't notice that the archer in the corner has lined up a shot. He then very annoyingly does this.
Is this how your family saw you laugh? Snivelling and bending the knee to whoever comes along? Come on!
I freak out. I go supernova. He quickly teleports away to avoid my rage. I begin attacking any orc captain that I can see, filled with rage, but I am blinded to his attacks. He lands a chain whip on me, catching me off guard, downing me again.
Come on, stand up! Show me what you've really got!
He humiliates me yet again, taunting me to get up and show him what I've really got. I get up to charge at him. But right when I do this, the other captain, the one that was broken, the one that I had already written off as being out of the fight, hits me with his ult attack. I manage to dodge the first two strikes, but the third one glances me. He moves in for the kill, and this time I'm unable to avoid it.
With you, sweetness, the fun never ends!
The siege is lost, and the surviving orcs grow stronger. We also lost two of our allied captains, Bagga the Torturer and the Drunk. But will this define our story? Or will it be a minor road bump in the search for Bagga? In the next episode of The Search for Bagga.
Oh, Shrock! Bloody blood!
You know I always enjoy killing you, Ranger. I found a plump little rat! Manly, I'm having a feast in your honor and picking my teeth with your